The GEO Certified Development status really signifies that those courses that have integrated sustainable practices into the design and construction processes and considered how that will have an impact on the longer term future of the golf course. It places the Réserve Golf Links amongst a small group of courses that have achieved that certification since it started in 2016, and the first one in Africa. So it's quite an achievement for the guys. It really means that those courses are thinking all the time about how they can lessen their impact on the environment, but at the same time trying to generate the positive impacts that we want to see for nature, but also for the people of its place. In this case, the achievement, if you like, puts the golf course here in Mauritius among a very small group of golf courses that have achieved the GEO Certified Development status since 2016, and it's the first course in Africa to be able to do so. So it's a significant achievement, and it shows that thought and decision-making process throughout design and construction really tried to lessen our impact, to generate as many positives as we could, not just for nature, although that's obviously important, but also the people and communities of the place that we're in, and continue to keep that legacy going beyond just the completion of construction.
During the construction of the golf course, my role was to assist the construction team with whatever they needed, but also quality control, the fine-tuning, the irrigation system layouts, and whatever would be affected by us for the management of the golf course later on. Well, we've been applying a sustainable approach on the golf course management on our first course for a few years now, and hence why we decided to go with GEO for certification during the construction phase, and then we'll carry that through to get a certification for management of the golf course in the future as well. Sustainability for us is all about getting away from the monoculture that we had here in sugarcane before. And we've chosen grasses that are indigenous to the island or endemic to try and approach a better management. Obviously, everything to do with pesticides, we're going to try and be on a more sustainable approach, and fertilizing as well. Water management, we've gone with a higher level irrigation system that's going to help us better manage our water consumption. And with regards to electricity as well, we've got solar panels on the maintenance facility, the clubhouse, again to have a lower impact. And then employment as well, we've chosen to employ people from the nearby region, train them ourselves, even if they don't come with skills, but we'll be able to teach them and train them the skills necessary.
The aspects that come into consideration for the certification really look at the whole sustainability agenda. So right from nature, resources and community type activities then. And there's the backbone to that certification is an international criteria that's published online. Everyone can go on and scrutinize and see what's involved in that process. That is set by an international working group of experts from golf and outside of golf. When we first came to the site in 2019, the conversation was all about how we were going to work with the opportunities and challenges that we had on this site, and rather than bringing an enforced idea. So it was really going to come from the situation and landscape that we had. And so one of the key things that was discussed was this rehabilitation from the sugarcane that we had, these tall bushes that we were walking through on the first site visit, and trying to rehabilitate and create sort of 60 hectares roughly of landscape, of grassland, open water, wetlands and forest to really sort of wrap around the landscape of the golf course being 100% native. The site then being so steeply sloped allowed us to work with an irrigation design that allowed gravity to feed down and create the pressure in the system to reduce the energy and the diesel and the needed to fuel that irrigation system, as well as recapturing the stormwater that was falling on the site and going into the ponds and so on. So really removing our reliance on other sources of water. If people come and play, what you'll notice is this kind of strange routing and layout of the holes. Typically we have this returning nines that brings you back to the clubhouse after 9. This one doesn't do that, which saved us a huge amount of energy, earthworks and efforts to try and create a sort of starting point halfway up this hill. But now you get this electric buggy to the top, and then you can see right from the first tee the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve that sort of sits right around the golf course and gave a lot of inspiration for the landscapes that we're driving to create. And then you play down through the golf course and have the views right across the ocean. So that's, to me, pretty unique and special. So coming here, one of the things that strikes you is the beauty and richness and diversity of the sort of natural landscape that you see in this environment, and the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve that was around us just gave a wonderful palette of landscape and plant material to work with. So it was a really great start. And actually the first time we came to site, in terms of fauna, we walked to the top of the site and we were seeing the local deer that were being used by us to eat and clear and prepare the site for construction, and they were actually eating that waste material and grazing it before we cleared them off. So the deer were were a good aspect of it. But when we start to talk a little bit about the native landscape, the ridge to reef kind of initiative that's been talked about, this kind of top to bottom connection, was something that was quite strong in the project. And that'll be a continual legacy that we'll keep working on for the future years, of using endemic plant species and forests to create a connection that will allow the bird life that you can hear and the different animals that we can use that connection from top to bottom to really to wrap the golf course, if you like, in a native landscape. We talk a lot about creating an authentic experience for the golfers to make sure that when they come to Mauritius, they step onto the golf course. It's a Mauritian golf experience. It's something that's genuine, emerges from the landscape, but a setting that we have around us, and it's not something enforced that we bring onto the site. And so that's very important, and I think people will see that kind of landscape thrive and grow and do well over time in this climate that you have in Mauritius.